From translation, TLB the Living Bible this 152 day of the year. Today we are reading passages Job 1-4 Job chapter 1, verses 1 to 22 Job, a man in the land of Uz, was a man of perfect integrity, who feared God and shunned evil. He had 7 sons and 3 daughters. He owned 7,000 sheep, 3,000 camels, 500 teams of oxen, 500 female donkeys, and a vast number of servants. That man was the wealthiest man in all the East. His sons used to take turns holding banquets in their homes, and they would invite their 3 sisters to eat and drink with them. When these parties were over, Job would send for his children to purify them and to offer burnt offerings for each of them. For Job said to himself, "Perhaps my children have sinned and have cursed God in their hearts." This was a regular custom of Job's. One day when the angels came to attend the Lord, Satan came with them. The Lord asked Satan, "Where have you been?" Satan answered the Lord, "I have been patrolling the earth, watching everything that's going on." Then the Lord asked Satan, "Have you noticed my servant Job? He is the finest man in all the earth, a man of complete integrity. He fears God and will never do wrong." Satan replied, "Does Job fear God for nothing? You have always protected him and his family and everything he has. You have blessed everything he does, and his flocks and herds are everywhere. But just stretch out your hand and strike everything he owns, and he will curse you to your face." The Lord replied to Satan, "All right, everything he owns is in your power, but no finger is to be laid upon the man himself." So Satan left the Lord's presence. One day when Job's sons and daughters were eating and drinking wine together in their oldest brother's home, a messenger came to Job and said, "Your oxen were plowing with the donkeys, and I am the only one who escaped to tell you. The Sabaeans attacked and took all the animals. They killed the servants with swords. I am the only one who escaped to tell you." While he was still speaking, another messenger arrived and said, "The fire of God fell from heaven and burned up your sheep and all the servants, and I am the only one who escaped to tell you." While he was still speaking, another messenger arrived and said, "The Chaldeans formed 3 raiding parties and attacked your camels and stole them all. They killed the servants with swords. I am the only one who escaped to tell you." While he was still speaking, another messenger arrived and said, "Your sons and daughters were eating and drinking wine in their oldest brother's home, when suddenly a great wind swept in from the desert and struck the 4 corners of the house, and it fell on your children and killed them all, and I am the only one who escaped to tell you." Job stood up and tore his robe in grief. He shaved his head and fell to the ground and worshipped. He said, "I came naked from my mother's womb, and I will leave here naked. The Lord gave me what I had, and the Lord has taken it away. Praise the name of the Lord." In all this, Job did not sin by blaming God for his troubles. Job chapter 2 verses 1 to 13. One day the angels again came to attend the Lord, and Satan came with them. The Lord asked Satan, "Where have you been?" Satan answered the Lord, "I have been patrolling the earth, watching everything that's going on." The Lord said to Satan, "Have you noticed my servant Job? He is the finest man in all the earth, a man of complete integrity. He fears God and will never do wrong. He has held on to his integrity in spite of all this trouble." Satan replied, "Skin for skin. A man will give up everything he owns to save his life. But just stretch out your hand and strike his body with a painful disease, and he will curse you to your face." The Lord replied to Satan, "All right, he is in your power, but spare his life." So Satan left the Lord and struck Job with a terrible plague of painful sores from the soles of his feet to the top of his head. Job scraped his sores with a piece of broken pottery as he sat on an ash heap. His wife said to him, "Are you still trying to maintain your integrity? Curse God and die." Job replied, "You are talking like a foolish woman. Should we accept only good things from the hand of God and never anything bad?" In all this, Job did not sin in what he said. When Job's 3 friends, Eliphaz the Temanite, Bildad the Shuhite, and Zophar the Naamathite, heard about the tragedy that had struck him, they set out from their homes and met together by agreement to go and sympathize with him and comfort him. When they saw him from a distance, they didn't recognize him, and they cried aloud when they saw him. They tore their robes and threw dust over their heads, and they sat on the ground with him for 7 days and 7 nights. No one said a word, for they saw that his suffering was too great for words. Job chapter 3, verses 1 to 26. After this, Job opened his mouth and cursed the day of his birth. He said, "May the day of my birth perish, and the night that said, 'A boy is conceived.' That day may it turn to darkness. May God not care about it from above, nor light shine upon it. May deep darkness and the shadow of death claim it for their own. May a cloud settle upon it, and whatever sorrows come upon it, that night may thick darkness seize it. May it not be included in the joys of the year, nor be remembered in the months of the year. May that night be barren, may no shout of joy be heard there. May those who curse the day curse it, those who are ready to rouse Leviaths. May its morning stars become dark. May it wait for daylight in vain and not see the coming dawn. For it did not shut the doors of my mother's womb, nor hide sorrow from my eyes. Why didn't I die at birth as I came from the womb? Why didn't I die as I came from the womb and breathe no more? For then I would be lying down in peace. I would be asleep and at rest, with kings and counselors of the earth who built for themselves now deserted cities, or with princes who had gold, who filled their houses with silver. Or why wasn't I stillborn, buried like a miscarriage, like infants who never saw the light? There the wicked cease from turmoil, there the weary are at rest. Captives also rest there together, they no longer hear the voice of the taskmaster. Both small and great are there, and the slave is free from his master. Why is light given to the sufferer, and life to the bitter of soul, who long for death that does not come, and dig for it more than for hidden treasures, who are filled with gladness at its approach and rejoice when it comes? Why is life given to a man whose way is hidden, whom God has hedged in? For my sighing comes instead of my food, and my groans are poured out like water. For what I feared has come upon me, what I dreaded has happened. I have no peace, no quietness, I have no rest, only trouble comes. Job chapter 4 verses 1 to 22. Then Eliphaz the Temanite replied, If we try to speak with you, will you become impatient? Who can endure your words? You have instructed many. You have strengthened the weak hands. Your words have supported those who were stumbling. You have strengthened feeble knees. But now it has come upon you, and you are impatient. It touches you, and you are alarmed. Is not your reverence for your God your confidence? And is not your integrity the source of your hope? Stop and think, what innocent person has ever perished? Where have the upright ever been destroyed? As I have observed, those who plough evil and those who sow trouble reap them. By the blast of God they perish, by the breath of his anger they are consumed. The roar of the lion, the voice of the fierce lion, and the teeth of the young lion are broken. The old lion perishes for lack of prey, and the cubs of the lioness are scattered. A word was secretly brought to me, my ears caught a whisper of it. Amid disquieting thoughts from the visions of the night, when deep sleep falls on men, fear and trembling seized me and made all my bones shake. A spirit glided past my face, the hair of my flesh stood on end. It stopped, but I could not tell what it was. A form was before my eyes. There was silence, then I heard a voice. Can a mortal be more righteous than God? Can a man be more pure than his Maker? If God does not trust his own servants and charges his angels with folly, how much less will he trust those who live in houses of clay, whose foundations are in the dust, who are crushed like a moth? Between dawn and dusk they are broken to pieces. Unnoticed they perish forever. Are not their tents without wisdom, without understanding? But will he not repay a man according to his deeds? He will certainly bring him to an end, he will not spare him when he is guilty.